Go ahead, go ahead.
Wow.
It's okay. Just go ahead. In regards to the Overseas Friends of Batia Janta Association, what is it about? What does it do? What are the mandates? And what is the foundation all about?
I think that question should go to Deepak. He can explain better than me.
No worries, no worries. All right, maybe Deepak, we can take it up with you.
Bharatiya Janata Association is basically NGOs dealing with the same kind of mandate, where we like to help the people who needs such kind of services. We are related with the tree planting, environmental factors, health associated. In pandemics, we have been involved in doing some charity works like for donation, such kind of things. So with Machua Foundation and us, we found that kind of the goal are same. So we came together to help each other and make the charitable works a bit elongated and make it more fruitful to the people.
Absolutely. And that now brings me to this whole aspect of eye care. You know, you mentioned it's part of what, you know, brought you together with the Mashua Waithaka Foundation, and it's what you are currently on. I believe there's a campaign going on, which we'll be getting to in not too long, but you are an optometrist.
Yes.
Let's start by understanding, you know, because when we talk about eye care and all, we always say, I'm going to see the optician. Let's start there. What does an optometrist do, and what is the difference, you know, when it comes to optometrist, optician, all those terminologies?
Basically, all depends on the education level you have gone on. So, optometrist, or you say optician, it's basically how much education you have got towards this healthcare, or in the field of eye. So, any primary examination for the eyes, which involves a non-surgical treatment or prevention of any kind of blindness, comes to the department of optometrist or optician. So in our side, where we have studied, there are courses for diploma course, which could be for a couple of years, or you go longer for that one, up to 4 years and so. So people who have studied a little longer than the optician, they fall into the category of optometrist. So basically, is the assistant of the ophthalmologist in all the segments, all the departments of the ophthalmologist, where they can support them or give them the help in their clinic. So basically, all the primary investigation for the eye conditions or health falls under the category of the optometrist.
All right. So it's just a question of the level of education. On the professional side.
True.
All right. Now, from a medical standing, how would you define healthy eyesight? What is that you look for to just help determine whether this person's eyesight is on the right track, or there are a few things we need to, you know, work on and look at?
Well, according to the international standards, of course, we have set some rule. We measure in a different units. Some people call 6 by 6. That's a perfect eyesight. We consider, or in European standards, 20 by 20, such kind of things. So basically, when we do the screening and all that, first thing we look for is the sight. What basically eyes are for, to see things. Now, apart from that, there are so many other conditions which one can simply look at it. The vision is something, if you're just looking at somebody, even if I'm a professional, I won't be able to tell you exactly that person is short-sighted or what are the refractive errors he might be having, unless we at least look at the vision of that person.
All right. And we'll be getting to some of those conditions and understanding them in a better depth. But let me start with some of those common, you know, eye problems that you get to interact with. And I'd like to come back to you, Muktesh. Muktesh, yes, I'm pronouncing that right. Forgive me if my roots start to show. But when it comes to some of these common eyesight problems that we have, what are some of the most common that you have interacted with?
Well, maybe myopia, hypermyopia, or astigmatism. Then basically what we are getting here, allergic conjunctivitis, irritation, maybe watery eye, such kind of condition is more common here. Also the photophobia is also so common here.
All right, and I want us to just start by understanding some of these signs and symptoms that present themselves when it comes to eye concerns, because many a time we tend to blame the environment and not really look deeper into the situation. And that brings me back to you, Deepak, and I want to start with issues to do with tearing. I have come across so many people who say, my eyes just tear, it's normal, it is the weather, there's pollen in the weather. But what could that be pointing to?
Tearing is a very common symptom. Like, just for analogy, when you get fever, it could be malaria, it could be some typhoid, some other serious disease, or simply a flu. So same way here, the tearing could be in so many different ways.
Yeah.
One can have refractive errors, as you said, myopia, hypermetropia, and so on. It could be because of allergy as well. Not only that, if you have spent a lot of time in front of your digital gadgets,
Yes.
it also causes the eye strain, which we call it digital eye strain. There as well, the tearing is quite obvious. And on top of that, again, refractive error is one of the reasons where most of the time you'll see the person is feeling the eyes are quite teary and the vision is getting blurry, watery. So, of course, it's a common symptom.
So it's an indicator that there could be a problem that is directly linked to the eye.
Well, oh yes, it's
as
an
opposed
indication.
to other underlying conditions.
True.
All right. Now let's look at pain. Most people report, nikitoka nje, when I step outside the house, there's this sharp pain that I feel in my eyes, or I just randomly feel sharp pains in my eye. And I'd like to come to you, Muktesh. Could this be a sign and symptom that there could be a problem with the eye, or it could be something totally different that is not even related to the eye altogether?
Possibly, it can happen, if some people is complaining about they are coming from house to outside, they are feeling pain, might be it can be photophobia, or might be it is psychological also. That is possible thing.
Okay, so it could be a problem.
Some people fear about the light, but maybe it is not because of the eye, it's because of the psychological.
All right. Underlying psychological consequences.
Yes.
All right. Now, another thing that I hear most people complain of is, or rather see with most people, is redness in the eyes that is constant. And I'd like to come back to you, Deepak. Redness with the eyes. What are the main causes of such?
Well, conjunctivitis, especially the allergy one, or any kind of infection which is there. But consistent redness could be, again, the major signs is the allergy, where the patient is itching the eyes all the time. So it leaves the redness there. Of course, fatigue, tiredness is there, lack of sleep or such kind of things also contributes into it.
All right. And what of people who have a yellow tinge in the eye? And this brings me to you back, Muktesh. What contributes to the yellow tinge on the cornea?
Yellow. On the cornea or on the sclera?
Sclera.
Deepak?
Yep. So that's basically on the sclera part. If it is on the yellow tinge or any other tinge on the cornea, could be an infection or a scar or such kind of things.
Okay.
So yellow thing is basically related with your general health. So we point out on the liver side, we have to look into that one. Anemic person can have the same thing.
All right.
So yes, underlying medical reasons, we have to look into the other aspects of the health.
All right. So that is a manifestation of other conditions that could also be presenting such. And we usually see, I've come across so many people who have random dark spots on the eye, and I've always wondered what that is, and you even see children with them. Could that be from trauma, or there are other reasons that bring about the dark spot on the eye?
Depends how active it is. If it is just from childhood and consistent in the shape, size, and the growth of that, we call it as a birthmark. In our body also, on the skin, you see the mole kind of things and all that. But if it is active, where it is causing some symptoms and all that, then we have to do the proper test regarding that and find out what kind of spot it is.
All right. So you need to understand, if you were born with it, then it's nothing harmful. But it's something you get along the years?
Yes, you do get along the years and all that. So it all depends on how active it is. Yep.
All right. And finally, let me come back to you, Muktesh. When it comes to eye gunk. You know, most people, you say, Mimi nikilala, when I sleep, there's this buildup that is around my eyes. Is it entirely normal to have that buildup, or it gets to some point where that buildup around your eyes could be an indicator of a problem?
Maybe it could be the normal, or could be something else which we have to rectify it.
Mm-hmm. So it needs investigation?
Yes.
Are you of the same thought, Deepak?
Yes, it depends. First of all, a bit of discharge in the morning when you get the sticky thing and all that. Sometimes it's quite hard, like a crystal. So it is obvious, it's a normal thing.
Okay.
But if the amount is on the higher side, it could be an indication of the infection or some other underlying conditions.
All right, that needs to be looked into.
Yes, but in a normal amount, a bit of it has to be there. It's a normal thing. It's a discharge coming out of the eyes. When you're sleeping, it's trying to remove all the debris you have collected throughout the day.
It's a natural waste from the eyes cleaning themselves?
Removing the waste product out of the eyes and kind of say.
All right.
Yeah.
We are having a conversation about our eyes this morning, and we welcome you to be part of this discussion. Share with us your thoughts, questions, or any clarifications that you may be needing. I will be addressing them once we are back from this break. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.